You ever have one of those moments where AI does something that just feels like, well, like magic? Maybe your phone understands a question you totally mumbled, or a photo app tags all your friends instantly. It's pretty incredible, right? But here's the thing. What if I told you that behind almost every single one of those magical moments, there's a huge, hidden workforce of actual people? Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the invisible architects of AI.
This quote, it really just hits the nail on the head. We're always hearing about the genius engineers and the visionary CEOs, you know? But the story we're digging into today, it's completely different. It's a story about millions of people whose quiet, careful work is the real foundation of all machine intelligence.
So, who are these architects? Well, you can think of them as the unseen human engine that's powering this whole AI revolution. They're a global workforce doing countless small, almost unnoticeable tasks that, piece by piece, are literally teaching an artificial mind how to think, how to see, and how to understand our world.
So, what does this work actually look like day to day? Well, it's the really detailed job of labeling millions of images. Teaching an AI the difference between a cat and a dog, or a stop sign and a yield sign. It's people performing and recording tasks, creating these huge data sets that AI models then study. They are, and this is no exaggeration, building the entire curriculum for the artificial minds of the future.
And this brings us to a huge, kind of glaring problem right at the heart of the AI industry. All of this critical work, this raw material for intelligence, it's been built on a system that's just been profoundly unfair. And it's a system that's gone on for way, way too long.
I really like this term, raw material of intelligence. It's just so perfect, because it captures how valuable this stuff really is. See, this isn't just a pile of random data. It's the carefully curated, structured information that an AI absolutely needs to learn anything at all. Without it, even the smartest AI is basically just an empty box of code.
And here is where you see the massive disconnect. On one hand, you've got this incredibly valuable resource. I mean, it's the literal fuel for a multi-trillion-dollar industry. And on the other hand, the reality for the people creating it has been that for years, it was all just taken for free. Okay, but what if that's all about to change? The material we're looking at today introduces a really fascinating potential solution, a whole new model for how we handle these contributions. It's a project called Codata, and its goal is to completely flip this broken system on its head. It's such a simple but powerful statement, right? Codata changes that. And look, this isn't just some small adjustment. It represents a fundamental shift in how we think about this, moving away from a model of just taking data to one of collaboration and, most importantly, fair compensation.
So, how does it all work? Well, it breaks down into 3 simple but really powerful steps. First, any contributions you make are encrypted, so they're secure. Second, they're verifiable on-chain. Now, all that means is they get recorded on a public, unchangeable digital ledger, kind of like a blockchain. This creates a permanent, transparent record of who contributed what. And finally, and this is the most important part, creation gets rewarded. The contributors actually get paid for their work.
So you see, this is so much bigger than just a new piece of technology. It's about a whole new philosophy for building AI. It's a future that's built on 2 simple but honestly revolutionary ideas: recognition for the people doing the work and a reward for their contribution.
To really feel how big of a shift this is, we've got to look back for a second. For all this foundational, industry-defining work, for all the value these invisible architects created, what did they actually get in return? The number is 0. Nothing. For years, the standard payment for creating the very bedrock of modern intelligence was absolutely nothing. It was treated like this invisible, uncredited tax you paid for just using the internet, a byproduct of our digital lives that was just there for the taking. But now, with systems like Codata, that entire story is being rewritten. For the very first time, we have a way to systematically and fairly change this entire dynamic. So what's the new promise here? It's simple, really, and there are 2 sides to it. First, contributors get rewarded for what they create. It's about getting fair pay for doing valuable work. But just as important, the people behind the data finally get recognized. Their invisibility, at long last, starts to fade away.
And this is why this should matter to every single one of us, not just the contributors. There's a saying, AI is only as good as its data. Think about it. If you build a system that values and rewards high-quality contributions, what do you get? You get better data. And better data leads to better, safer, and more capable AI. So fairness isn't just some nice ethical goal. It's a practical way to get better technology for all of us.
So we're left with this really powerful question to think about. What actually happens when the millions of people who are training our AI systems are no longer invisible? When they are finally seen and valued and rewarded for the work they do? It won't just change their lives. It could fundamentally change the kind of intelligence we're building and the kind of future we are all creating with it.